Introduction to pollution. Pollution means making something dirty, harmful, or unsafe. When we add things like smoke, chemicals, noise, or dirty water into our environment that harm humans, animals, plants, and nature, it is called pollution. In today's modern world, pollution has become a very big problem. In the past, life was simple, there were fewer factories, fewer vehicles, and nature was cleaner. But now, because of industries, heavy traffic, use of plastic, and many human activities, our air, water, and land are getting damaged. Pollution is not just a problem of one city or country, it is a problem of the whole world. Air pollution is causing breathing problems, water pollution is forcing people to drink unsafe water, noise pollution is increasing stress, and soil pollution is damaging farming. The most serious thing is that pollution does not only harm our present life, but it also affects the future generations. The aim of this book is to understand each type of pollution in detail, its causes, effects, and solutions, so that we can protect our environment and make our world clean and healthy. Why we must understand pollution. It is important to understand pollution because if we do not know the real problem, we cannot solve it. Many people think pollution only means smoke from factories or traffic. But pollution has many types, and each type harms life in a different way. When we learn about pollution, we can make small changes in our daily life that help the environment. For example, separate garbage into dry and wet waste. Use less plastic. Plant more trees. Save water and do not waste it. Keep music and noise low when not needed. Pollution affects not only our health but also our mind, climate, and nature's balance. Air pollution increases global warming, melts ice in the polar regions, and changes weather. Water pollution kills fish and sea animals and makes farming harder. That is why controlling pollution is everyone's duty. Whether you are a student, teacher, farmer, or businessman, we all must take steps to make the earth safe and clean. Types of pollution. Pollution has many forms. Each type comes from different activities and harms the environment in its own way. The main types of pollution are air pollution. This happens when harmful gases, smoke, or dust mix with the air. It is caused by factories, vehicles, burning of fuel, and even natural events like volcanic eruptions. Water pollution. This is when dirty or harmful substances mix with rivers, lakes, seas, or underground water. Common causes are chemical waste from factories, oil spills, and throwing garbage into water. Noise pollution. Too much loud sound is also a form of pollution. Traffic noise, loud music, construction work, and airplane engines can disturb people and even harm hearing. Soil, land, pollution. This happens when the land becomes dirty or harmful due to waste, chemicals, or plastics. It can damage plants, crops. A short history of pollution. Pollution is not a problem that started yesterday. It has been growing slowly for hundreds of years, but it became very serious in the last century. To understand the present situation, we need to look at the past. In ancient times, people lived close to nature. They hunted animals, grew crops, and used natural materials like wood, clay, and stone. There were no big factories, no heavy traffic, and no machines that produced smoke. Because of this, the air and water stayed clean, and the land was fresh and fertile. The first signs of human-made pollution began when people learned to make fire. The smoke from fire was small compared to today's pollution, but it was still a form of air pollution. Later, as towns and cities grew, waste from people and animals started to collect in streets and rivers. The biggest change came during the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries. New machines were built, and large factories started producing goods in huge numbers. Coal became the main source of energy, and burning coal released massive amounts of smoke and harmful gases into the air. At the same time, factories started dumping waste directly into rivers, making water unsafe for drinking. By the 20th century, cars, buses, trains, and airplanes became common. These vehicles made life faster but also increased air and noise pollution. Plastic was invented, which was cheap and useful but did not break down easily. This created a new kind of pollution that spread everywhere, in the soil, rivers, oceans, and even inside animals. Today, pollution has reached dangerous levels. Satellites can now see thick layers of smoke and dust above cities. Rivers in many parts of the world are too dirty to drink from. Noise from machines and vehicles affects people's health and peace of mind. The history of pollution teaches us one important lesson: as human progress increases, pollution can also grow, unless we take serious steps to control it. If we understand how pollution developed over time, we can learn how to stop it from getting worse in the future. The past shows us the mistakes, and now it is our responsibility to correct them for the sake of our planet and the generations to come. Air pollution, causes. Air pollution happens when harmful gases, smoke, dust, or chemicals mix with the air we breathe. These pollutants can come from human activities or from natural events, but most air pollution today is caused by people. Let's look at the main causes in detail. 1. Smoke from factories and industries. Factories use machines that often run on coal, oil, or gas. When these fuels burn, they release harmful gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxides. These gases make the air dirty and dangerous. Factories also release fine dust particles that can enter our lungs and cause serious health problems. Example: in industrial areas, you can often see black smoke rising from chimneys, spreading into the sky. 2. Emissions from vehicles. Cars, buses, trucks, and motorcycles all run on petrol or diesel. When these fuels burn in engines, they release poisonous gases such as carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides. In big cities with heavy traffic, vehicle smoke is the main cause of dirty air. Example: if you stand on a busy road during rush hour, you can smell the strong fumes and sometimes see a haze in the air. That haze is pollution. 3. Burning of fuels for cooking and heating. In many parts of the world, especially rural areas, people still burn wood, coal, or animal waste for cooking or heating. This produces a lot of smoke and tiny particles that are harmful to breathe. Example: in small houses without proper ventilation, indoor air pollution can be worse than outdoor pollution. 4. Agricultural activities. Farmers sometimes burn leftover crop waste, called stubble, to clear their fields. This creates thick clouds of smoke that spread over large areas. The use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides also releases harmful substances into the air. Example: in some farming regions, burning crop waste causes heavy smog that can last for days or even weeks. 5. Construction and mining work. Building new roads, houses, or offices creates a lot of dust. Mining for coal, minerals, or metals also releases fine dust into the air. These tiny particles can travel far and stay in the air for a long time. Example: people living near construction sites often see dust covering their cars, windows, and even plants. 6. Burning of waste. In many places, people burn household garbage instead of disposing of it properly. Burning plastic and other waste materials releases dangerous chemicals like dioxins and furans into the air. Example: open burning of waste is common in some towns and villages, creating thick smoke that smells bad and damages health. 7. Natural causes. Although most air pollution is man-made, nature can also add to it. Volcanoes release ash and gases into the air, forest fires produce large amounts of smoke, and dust storms can carry sand and dirt over hundreds of kilometers. Example: a single volcanic eruption can release more ash in one day than some factories produce in a year. Air pollution effects. Air pollution does not just make the air look dirty, it harms every living thing on Earth. Breathing polluted air is like slowly poisoning yourself. It affects human health, plants, animals, and even the climate. Let's look at the major effects in detail. 1. Effects on human health. Air pollution is one of the biggest threats to our health. When we breathe dirty air, harmful gases and tiny dust particles enter our lungs and even our blood. This can cause respiratory diseases like asthma, bronchitis, and lung infections. Heart problems because polluted air makes the heart work harder. Cancer, especially lung cancer, after long-term exposure. Irritation in eyes, nose, and throat. 3. Effects on animals. Animals also breathe the same air we do. Polluted air can make them sick, reduce their ability to find food, and even kill them in extreme cases. Birds often suffer because pollution damages their habitat and food sources. 4. Effects on plants. Plants need clean air for photosynthesis, the process by which they make food. Polluted air blocks sunlight and coats leaves with dust, reducing their growth. Harmful gases like sulfur dioxide and ozone can damage leaves, flowers, and fruits. 5. Damage to the environment. Air pollution can cause acid rain, which happens when gases like sulfur dioxide mix with rainwater. Acid rain damages buildings, monuments, forests, and lakes. 6. Climate change. Air pollution adds greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, causing global warming. As the Earth becomes warmer, glaciers melt, sea levels rise, and weather patterns become extreme. 7. Reduced visibility. Polluted air often contains tiny particles that scatter light, making it hard to see far. This is called haze, and is dangerous for drivers, pilots, and ships. Air pollution is not just a health issue, it is a global crisis. It damages our bodies, weakens nature, and changes our climate. The longer we ignore it, the harder it will be to fix. Air pollution, solutions. Air pollution is a big problem, but it can be reduced if we take the right steps. Solving it requires both personal efforts and government action. Here are the main solutions. 1. Use clean energy sources. Instead of burning coal and oil, we should use renewable energy like solar power, wind energy, and hydroelectric power. These sources do not produce harmful gases. Example, many countries are now installing solar panels in homes and offices to produce clean electricity. 2. Improve public transport. If more people use buses, trains, or carpooling instead of driving their own cars, there will be fewer vehicles on the road and less smoke in the air. Example, in some cities, people are given free bus rides during high pollution days to reduce traffic. 3. Switch to electric vehicles. Electric cars and bikes run on batteries instead of fuel, so they do not release smoke or harmful gases. Governments can give incentives to make electric vehicles affordable. 4. Plant more trees. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, making the air cleaner. Planting trees in cities can also reduce dust and keep temperatures cooler. Example, urban areas with many parks have cleaner air than areas with only concrete buildings. 5. Control industrial emissions. Factories should use filters and advanced technology to reduce the smoke and gases they release. Governments must set strict pollution limits and fine industries that break the rules. 6. Avoid burning waste. Instead of burning garbage, we should recycle and compost it. Burning plastic is especially dangerous because it releases poisonous chemicals. 7. Promote clean cooking methods. In rural areas, people can use biogas, LPG, or electric stoves instead of burning wood or coal. This reduces indoor air pollution and protects health. 8. Educate people about pollution. Awareness campaigns in schools, offices, and communities can teach people how to reduce pollution in daily life. 9. Use air quality monitoring. Governments can install air quality monitors in cities to check pollution levels. This helps warn people and take emergency measures when pollution becomes too high. Water pollution, causes. Water pollution happens when harmful substances mix with rivers, lakes, seas, or underground water, making it unsafe for drinking, farming, or supporting life. Most water pollution is caused by human activities, but sometimes it can also happen naturally. Let's look at the main causes in detail. 1. Industrial waste. Factories often release chemical waste, heavy metals, and dyes directly into rivers or lakes without cleaning them. These chemicals poison the water and kill fish, plants, and other aquatic life. Example, textile and chemical industries release colored water and toxic liquids that make the river water unsafe for both humans and animals. 2. Sewage and wastewater. In many cities, dirty water from homes, toilets, and drains flows directly into rivers without treatment. This water contains bacteria, viruses, and harmful chemicals that spread diseases. Example, in places with poor sewage systems, people often fall sick with waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid. 3. Agricultural activities. Farmers use chemical fertilizers and pesticides to grow more crops. When it rains, these chemicals wash into rivers and underground water, polluting them. Example, excess fertilizers in water cause algal blooms, which reduce oxygen and kill fish. 4. Oil spills. When oil from ships or drilling rigs leaks into the sea, it spreads over the surface, blocking sunlight and reducing oxygen in the water. This can kill thousands of fish and seabirds. Example, The 2010 Gulf of Mexico oil spill killed millions of marine creatures and damaged the environment for years. 5. Plastic and solid waste. Throwing plastic bags, bottles, and other garbage into rivers and seas causes severe pollution. Plastic does not break down easily and harms marine animals that eat it by mistake. Example: sea turtles often die after eating plastic bags, thinking they are jellyfish. 6. Mining activities. Mining for coal, gold, or other minerals produces waste materials that can mix with nearby rivers and streams, making the water toxic. 7. Thermal pollution. Factories and power plants sometimes release very hot water into rivers. This sudden temperature change kills fish and other aquatic organisms that cannot survive in warm water. 8. Natural causes. Natural events like floods, volcanic eruptions, or hurricanes can wash soil, ash, and debris into water bodies. While natural pollution is rare, it can still harm aquatic life.
Water pollution effects. Water pollution is dangerous because water is life. Every living thing, humans, animals, and plants, needs clean water to survive. When water becomes polluted, it affects health, the environment, and the economy. Let's explore the major effects. 1. Effects on human health. Drinking or using polluted water can cause many diseases, some of which can be deadly. Common health problems include cholera, a severe diarrheal disease caused by bacteria in dirty water; typhoid, caused by bacteria, leading to high fever and weakness; dysentery, causes stomach pain and diarrhea with blood; hepatitis A liver infection caused by contaminated water. Example: in areas with poor sewage systems, thousands of people fall sick every year because they drink untreated water. 2. Effects on aquatic life. Fish, crabs, turtles, and other aquatic animals need clean water to survive. When water is polluted with chemicals, oil, or plastic. 3. Effects on plants. Plants growing in or near polluted water absorb harmful substances. This can stop their growth, damage leaves, and even kill them. Crops watered with polluted water may also become unsafe to eat. 4. Spread of waterborne diseases. When people wash clothes, bathe, or swim in polluted water, they risk catching infections. Communities near polluted rivers often face constant health problems. 5. Damage to ecosystems. Polluted water can destroy entire ecosystems. If one species dies, it affects the whole food chain. For example, if small fish die, larger fish and birds lose their food source. 6. Economic losses. Water pollution can hurt the economy in many ways. Fishermen lose income when fish die. Tourists avoid beaches and rivers that are dirty. Governments spend huge amounts to clean polluted water. 7. Climate and environmental impact. Polluted water bodies can produce harmful gases like methane when waste breaks down without oxygen. This adds to climate change. Water pollution solutions. Water pollution can be reduced if people, industries, and governments work together. Clean water is not a luxury, it is a basic need for life. Here are the main ways we can control and prevent water pollution. 1. Treat industrial waste before releasing. Factories should clean their wastewater before letting it flow into rivers or lakes. This can be done by installing treatment plants that remove harmful chemicals and toxins. Example: some modern factories use special filters and chemical processes to make their wastewater safe before releasing it. 2. Improve sewage systems. Cities and towns should have proper sewage treatment plants so that dirty water from homes is cleaned before entering natural water bodies. 3. Reduce use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Farmers can use organic fertilizers and natural pest control methods instead of harmful chemicals. This reduces the amount of dangerous substances washing into rivers and underground water. 4. Prevent oil spills. Ships should follow strict safety rules to avoid oil leaks. Governments must be ready with quick response teams to clean up any accidental spills. 5. Ban throwing garbage into water. People should be strictly fined for dumping plastic, bottles, or any waste into rivers, lakes, or seas. More dustbins should be placed near water bodies. 6. Clean rivers and lakes regularly. Organize community cleanup programs where volunteers remove waste from water. Governments can also use machines to collect floating garbage. 7. Recycle and reuse water. Industries can reuse water in their processes instead of taking fresh water every time. Homes can use collected rainwater for gardening and cleaning. 8. Spread awareness. Schools, media, and community leaders should educate people about the dangers of water pollution and how to prevent it. 9. Protect natural wetlands. Wetlands act as natural filters by cleaning water before it flows into rivers and seas. Noise pollution causes. Noise pollution happens when there is too much loud or unpleasant sound in the environment. Unlike air or water pollution, noise cannot be seen, but it can be heard and felt. Too much noise can disturb people, animals, and even damage health over time. Let's look at the main causes. 1. Traffic and vehicles. Cars, buses, trucks, motorcycles, and trains create constant noise on busy roads. Honking, engine sounds, and tire friction all add to noise pollution. Example, in big cities, people living near main roads hear traffic noise all day and night. 2. Construction work. Building houses, offices, roads, and bridges requires heavy machinery like drills, hammers, and bulldozers. These machines produce very loud sounds. Example, people living near construction sites often have trouble sleeping because of the noise. 3. Factories and industrial areas. Machines in factories produce continuous noise. Workers in these areas often need ear protection to avoid hearing. 4. Loud music and entertainment. Concerts, parties, and loudspeakers used in weddings or events create high-volume sound that disturbs people in the area. Example, playing music late at night in residential areas causes noise complaints. 5. Airports and airplanes. Planes produce a lot of noise during takeoff and landing. People living near airports experience this regularly. 6. Household equipment. Even at home, noise comes from TVs, music systems, mixers, washing machines, and vacuum cleaners. While each sound may be small, together they can cause disturbance. 7. Public gatherings and political rallies. Large crowds, loudspeakers, and cheering at rallies or protests create noise that affects the surrounding areas. 8. Natural causes. Some noise comes from nature, such as thunderstorms, earthquakes, or volcanic eruptions. While natural noise is temporary, it can still be very loud. Noise pollution is often ignored because it doesn't leave visible dirt or smell, but its impact on health. Noise pollution effects. Noise pollution may not dirty the air or water, but it harms our health, peace of mind, and the environment. Too much noise for a long time can have serious effects on humans and animals. Let's see the main impacts. 1. Hearing problems. Loud noise can damage the sensitive parts of our ears. This may lead to temporary hearing loss, can improve after some time. Permanent hearing loss cannot be cured. Example, factory workers or airport staff often need ear protection to avoid damage. 2. Stress and mental health issues. Constant noise makes it hard to relax. It increases stress levels, causes irritation, and can even lead to anxiety or depression. 3. Sleep disturbances. Noise at night can interrupt sleep or prevent people from falling asleep. Poor sleep causes tiredness, mood swings, and reduced focus during the day. Example, people living near busy roads or railways often have difficulty sleeping peaceful. 4. Reduced concentration. Students, office workers, and anyone trying to focus on tasks can be distracted by continuous noise. This lowers productivity and learning ability. 5. Heart problems. Research shows that long-term exposure to loud noise can increase blood pressure and raise the risk of heart diseases. 6. Effects on animals. Animals rely on sound to find food, communicate, and stay safe. Noise pollution can confuse them, make them leave their habitats, or affect their breeding. Example: loud ship engines disturb dolphins and whales, making it hard for them to communicate. 7. Impact on community life. Noise pollution reduces the quality of life in a community. People may avoid outdoor activities, become less social, or even move away from noisy areas. Noise pollution might not leave visible signs like smoke or dirty water, but its effects are real and dangerous. Noise pollution solutions. Noise pollution can be controlled if people, communities, and governments work together. Since noise travels quickly and affects many people at once, reducing it needs both awareness and strict rules. Here are the main solutions. 1. Reduce vehicle noise. Use public transport, bicycles, or walk for short distances to reduce traffic noise. Encourage electric vehicles, which are quieter than petrol or diesel ones. Ban unnecessary honking and fine drivers who misuse horns. 2. Control construction noise. Restrict construction work to daytime hours. Use modern, quieter machinery. Build sound barriers or cover noisy machines to reduce the spread of sound. 3. Limit loudspeakers in public events. Allow loudspeakers only at certain times, and within a safe volume limit. Ban high-volume events late at night or near hospitals and schools. 4. Improve industrial noise control. Install noise-reducing equipment like silencers and vibration pads in factories. 5. Plant more trees. Trees absorb sound and act as natural noise barriers. Planting trees along roads and around noisy areas can reduce sound levels. 6. Soundproof buildings. Use double glass windows and thick curtains to block outside noise. Schools, hospitals, and offices in noisy areas should have soundproof rooms. 7. Spread awareness. Educate people about the harmful effects of noise pollution and how they can help reduce it in their daily lives. 8. Strict government laws. Governments should set maximum noise limits for different areas, residential, industrial, hospital zones, and fine anyone who breaks the rules. By following these solutions, we can make our surroundings quieter, healthier, and more peaceful. Reducing noise pollution improves not only our hearing, but also our mental well-being and overall quality of life. Land and soil pollution. Introduction. Land and soil pollution happens when harmful waste, chemicals, and materials mix with the soil, making it dirty and unhealthy. This type of pollution damages plants, animals, and humans because everything we eat grows in soil. If the soil is polluted, our food becomes polluted too. Main causes of land and soil pollution. 1. Industrial waste. Factories throw away chemicals, plastics, and toxic materials into open land. These poisons enter the soil and stay there for years. 2. Agricultural chemicals. Farmers often use pesticides and chemical fertilizers to protect crops and increase production. Over time, these chemicals damage the soil and reduce its natural fertility. 3. Household waste. Garbage like plastic bags, broken electronics, glass bottles, and metal cans often ends up in open dumping grounds. These materials take hundreds of years to break down. 4. Deforestation. Cutting down trees leaves the land exposed. Without trees, the soil becomes loose and gets washed away during rain. Soil erosion. 5. Mining activities. Mining for coal, gold, or other minerals removes the top layer of soil and leaves behind waste that pollutes the land. 6. Construction waste. Bricks, cement, and leftover building materials are often dumped on empty land, ruining its quality. Effects of land and soil pollution. Loss of fertility. Crops grow poorly in polluted soil. Food contamination. Harmful chemicals in soil enter fruits, vegetables, and grains. Animal deaths. Animals eat plants or grass grown in polluted soil and get sick. Water pollution. When it rains, chemicals from the soil mix into rivers and lakes. Spread of diseases. Garbage dumps attract insects and rodents that spread illnesses. Why we must act quickly. Soil forms very slowly in nature, but pollution can ruin it in just a few years. Solutions for land and soil pollution. Protecting our land and soil is important because healthy soil gives us food, clean water, and a balanced environment. If we take the right steps now, we can stop further damage and even repair some of the harm already done. 1. Proper waste management. Separate waste into biodegradable, food, paper, and non-biodegradable, plastic, metal, before disposal. Recycle plastics, glass, and metals to reduce waste dumped on land. Use composting for kitchen and garden waste to return nutrients to the soil. 2. Reduce chemical use in farming. Use organic fertilizers like compost, cow dung, or natural manure. Try natural pest control methods instead of chemical pesticides. Practice crop rotation to keep soil fertile naturally. 3. Reforestation and afforestation. Plant trees to prevent soil erosion and restore nutrients. Create green belts around industrial and urban areas to protect the soil. 4. Control industrial waste. Treat chemical waste before dumping it. Use eco-friendly production methods to reduce toxic materials. 5. Educate people. Teach farmers about the long-term harm of overusing chemicals. Run public campaigns about reducing plastic waste and littering. 6. Ban illegal dumping. Fine individuals and companies that dump garbage or construction waste in open lands. Provide more garbage collection points in cities and towns. 7. Use biodegradable products. Switch to products that break down naturally, such as paper bags instead of plastic bags. By following these steps, we can protect the soil, grow healthier crops, and make sure future generations have fertile land to live on. Healthy soil means a healthy planet. 3483. Thermal pollution. Introduction. Thermal pollution happens when humans change the natural temperature of water bodies like rivers, lakes, or seas. This usually occurs when industries or power plants release very hot water into them. The sudden change in temperature harms fish, plants, and the entire aquatic ecosystem. Main causes of thermal pollution. 1. Power plants. Electricity plants use water to cool their machinery. After use, they release this hot water back into rivers or lakes. 2. Factories and industries. Steel factories, chemical plants, and oil refineries often discharge heated water into nearby water bodies. 3. Deforestation. When trees are cut down near rivers, sunlight directly heats the water, raising its temperature. 4. Climate change. Global warming naturally increases the temperature of oceans and lakes, causing similar effects to thermal pollution. Effects of thermal pollution. Loss of oxygen. Warm water holds less oxygen, making it hard for fish to survive. How to control thermal pollution. Cooling ponds and towers. Industries can cool down water before releasing it. Use of heat exchangers. Technology can recycle heat instead of wasting it. Plant trees near water bodies. Shade from trees reduces direct heating by the sun. Strict laws. Governments can make rules for industries to control water temperature. Thermal pollution is less visible than smoke or garbage, but its effects are deadly for water ecosystems. By controlling industrial waste heat and planting more trees, we can protect aquatic life and keep our water bodies healthy. Radioactive pollution. Introduction. Radioactive pollution happens when dangerous radioactive substances are released into the environment. These substances give off harmful radiation, which can damage living cells, cause serious diseases, and even harm future generations. Radioactive pollution is invisible, but it is extremely dangerous because its effects last for many years. Conclusion: the fight against pollution. Pollution is one of the biggest problems of our time. Whether it is air, water, noise, soil, radioactive, or light pollution, each type harms our health, damages nature, and disturbs the balance of life on Earth. Human activities like careless waste disposal, overuse of machines, industrial growth, and unnecessary resource consumption have made this problem worse. If we want a safe future, we must change our habits today. This means reducing waste and reusing materials, using clean energy like solar and wind instead of burning fossil fuels, planting more trees to clean the air, protecting rivers, lakes, and seas from chemical waste, using resources wisely and avoiding overconsumption. Governments, industries, and citizens must work together to control pollution. Technology can help, but the real change starts with personal responsibility. If we do nothing, the effects will grow worse. Climate change will accelerate, natural resources will vanish faster, and future generations will face an unhealthy, unstable world. But if we act now, change is possible. By adopting clean technologies, enforcing strict environmental laws, promoting awareness, and practicing sustainable living, we can reverse much of the damage already done. The responsibility does not lie with governments alone. Each individual has power to reduce waste, to choose eco-friendly products, to conserve energy, and to protect nature in their daily life. When millions of people make small, conscious choices, the collective impact is huge. Earth is not just a place where we live, it is a living system that sustains us. Protecting it is not an option, it is a duty. Our survival and the survival of all species depend on how we act today. The fight against pollution is, in truth, the fight for life itself. Pollution has become a global crisis that affects every living creature, from the air we breathe to the water we drink, from the sounds we hear to the light we see at night. Pollution is silently damaging our health, weakening ecosystems, and disturbing the natural cycles of life. It is not limited to one place or one country. It spreads across borders and impacts the entire planet. The interconnected damage is alarming. Air pollution leads to respiratory diseases and increases global warming. Water pollution poisons marine life and disrupts food chains. Soil pollution makes farming difficult and reduces food quality. Noise pollution disturbs mental health, and light pollution changes the behavior of animals and plants. Even radioactive pollution has long-term, invisible effects that can last for centuries.